Alright, everybody, how's it going? Okay, so I want to tell you a story before we get started working today. A story about a man named Joshua in the Bible. Joshua was a young man that was equipped with the task of taking the children of Israel into the promised land to inherit their land. And what Joshua did was he took all the men from these three tribes, the tribe of Gad, the half tribe of Manasseh, and the tribe of Reuben. He took the men of those tribes and he said, even though you have inherited your promised land, I want you to cross over, arm yourselves, and let's go help our brethren inherit their promised land as well. And so once they got over into the promised land, Joshua said that this is going to be the strategy, and the Lord had gave it to him. And he said, we're going to go into the city of Jericho, because that was the first city that they were going to take. And they had these big walls around the city of Jericho, just like we have these walls, and we have these that seem like insurmountable things on this camper. There was these big walls around the city of Jericho. And Joshua said that the Lord is speaking to us, and he's saying he wants us to put our weapons down for 7 days. And for those 7 days, for the first 6 days, the Lord wants us to walk around the walls of Jericho one time for that first day, one time for the second day, one time third day, fourth, fifth, sixth, one time all those 6 days. And on that 7th day, what the Lord told them is that on that 7th day, he wanted them to walk around those walls 7 times. And once they had completed their obedience and walked around those walls for 7 times, the Lord says, I want you to shout and give a shout and praise me. And once they shouted and praised the Lord, those walls came falling down. And so it wasn't the strength of Israel. It wasn't the strength of those men, but it was the strength of their God. It was the strength of the Lord. And that's the same thing that's going to be used to establish and restore this camper, is the strength of the Lord. Because I told you in the last video that it's not going to be money or things like that are going to restore this camper, but it's going to be the Lord's wisdom that he gives us that are going to be used to restore this camper. And that's going to take the glory away from us. It's going to take the glory away from them little green pieces of paper, and it's going to put the glory on God. So this camper right here is going to be restored by the strength of God, by the wisdom of God, and it's going to give glory to him. So everything that's going to happen on this camper is not going to bring glory to us, but it's going to be all about God. So y'all enjoy today's video. It's I.A.G Farms. It's all about God. All right, y'all, we're getting ready to put in the first piece of insulation. We're picking back up on this camper restoration. As y'all saw in other videos, we've so far in this series, or in this restoration, we've did demo day. You know, we tore out all the rotten wood. Still got, you know, tore out all the rotten wood on the floors. So we still had to tear out some rotten wood on the walls, and you know, we had to redo the entire ceiling. But we're just focusing on the floor right now. And so we had the floor framed in, it's solid, and we're getting ready to go in with our subfloor. But before we do subfloor, we had to put in insulation. And we're using this styrofoam insulation, and this is a 1-inch insulation. And I think the boards we have down are 1.5 inches, supposed to be 2 inches, but they're, you know, they come in 1.5 inches. And so we're leaving a 1/2 inch air gap, you know, for breathing room, I guess. And this styrofoam insulation, it works better in campers because campers have a lot of like humidity and moisture and things like that. And the normal insulation that you would put in your house, you know, it can absorb that moisture. But this insulation actually reflects and it doesn't absorb that moisture. So it's less likely to mold, you know, because campers, they're bad about, you know, you don't even have to have a leak. You just have moisture, a humid day. And we're in Mississippi, so we have high humidity. And so we're using the styrofoam insulation. So got my first piece cut, and I'm gonna put it in. Y'all follow me along in here. So the radiant silver side goes down, or it goes out. Like, so if you're putting it on the ceiling, it will go up like this because it faces the outside. But since we're putting it on the floor, the outside is down. So we're putting it in down like this right here. Want to get it in kind of tight, so I cut it just a little bit too big. Let's see if I can get it in there. Alright, first piece of insulation is in. We got a whole lot more, as you see, to go. You can pan around and show them. But yeah, we're going to get all these gaps insulated in.
Okay.
So we're going to get all these gaps insulated in. Let's get to it. Alright, y'all, I just got done with the floor. And today's work day hadn't been like the other 3-4 days that I've been working on the camper. Because those first 3-4 days, it's kind of dark under here. Let me go back over here. But those first 3-4 days, you know, it was excitement. You know, and excitement was able to keep me going and keep me energized. But today, all the excitement is gone. You know, once those first 3-4 days are gone, and now it's all about discipline. It's all about just staying determined, staying focused, and getting things done. And I just got done with the floor. I thought I was gonna be done with it sooner than this, but I got all my insulation in the floor, and I got all my sheathing, not my sheathing, but my plywood on the floor. So let's go take a look at it, see how it looks, show you what our new floor in the camper looks like. All right, so just walking in, you see the little step up part there, and looking this way, see the floors replaced all the way through the whole entire camper. And we have a good, solid, strong floor. Yeah, I framed it up good. Yeah, we got a fan in here. One of our viewers saw that I was in here working in the camper, and I was sweating so bad. I was changing clothes 3-4 times a day working in here. And one of our viewers brought a fan by and dropped it off. So I'm grateful for this fan because it sure makes a big difference. But yeah, so new floor, framed up good. As you see, I'm walking on it. It's not making any noise, not squeaking. As you can see, I left the toilet flange here and the vent for this black tank, because this is the black tank here, and then the gray tank is somewhere in there, you know, from the sink and shower and things like that. But what I'm gonna do is, because we're gonna have a compost toilet in here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cap this black tank off, and then I'm gonna still vent off the black tank. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect my gray tank and my black tank to give me double gray tank storage, you know, so I won't have to empty the gray tanks as fast. But yeah, looking from this way, see the floor is redone all the way through, and we're gonna get in, and I'll probably get my wife to rip up the rest of that flooring that was over there on the original floor, the rest of that whatever you call that stuff. I don't even know what you call it, but yeah, we get all that ripped up, and then we'll get some new flooring in here, some new because this is the subfloor. And once we, you know, get the walls framed in, and once I do something about this roof, because I'm gonna reframe the entire roof and redo the roof. And once we do those things, we'll get some, you know, hardwood floors in here, probably some type of like, I don't know what you call it. I'm so tired I can't even think. But the hardwood floor that you kind of it's kind of like tongue and groove hardwood floors. But I think that'll put a nice look to this old camper. But yeah, so just another look at the floors. Nice solid floors. And I think that I'm probably about done for today. Yeah, I think I'm nearing my end for today. I might get a little bit more work done. I want to work on this door, because the door to the camper is kind of broke, and I have it over here, and I really need to reframe it. And I looked up how much new doors cost, because there's a door there to come out the camper, and I need to totally redo it, because I looked up how much new doors cost, and and unless you go to like a camper junkyard or scrap yard, new doors for these campers cost like $500. So I'm gonna try to repair and restore the door that was on here and see if I can reframe it and everything. But yeah, it's looking good in there so far. That's probably gonna be it for us today. I guess I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right, y'all, so I'm headed back out to the work site out here, back out to the camper. And I took a little minute to edit a few videos in there. I got a little bit behind because I've been working on the camper so much. And I'm back out here at the camper now. I'm finna get ready to get started tearing into this ceiling in here, because before I do anything, I need to get this ceiling done in here. And I'm gonna try to get all this white board tore down on the ceiling. And then I got a board here that looks like somebody put up trying to make some type of repairs. I'm gonna get that down and then just start cleaning up around the edges here, as you can see, because there are nails or screws hanging out of the ceiling. So I want to get all that cleared up, get it cleaned up, so I can get started reframing these walls and reframing the ceiling. And then once I get everything reframed, I can start working on the roof and get some board on the roof and get some of the because what happens is on these campers, they put like a little Luan board or a little I think you might use plywood. I might use like 1/2 inch plywood to to put a sheathing on the roof, and then you put this this rubber roofing on there. You know, it's kind of flexible, and so I get that on there, and then we'll have a good floor, we have good walls, and we have a good roof, and then we can start, you know, building beds and putting compost toilets. And I also have to do a little work on this tub shower here. You see, I got the toilet in there, but that toilet is just that's the toilet that came out from right there. I actually have a drain cap to cap that off, but I got the wrong size. I got a 4-inch. I needed a 3-inch. But yeah, I'm gonna get that black tank capped off. I'm gonna also get all this surround around the shower and tub set up. I'm gonna get that ripped down. I'm gonna redo that. I'm still trying to figure out what we're gonna redo that with, but I'm gonna go ahead and get to work, and we'll see what we can get done. So I got most of the ceiling in here tore down, and as you can see, once you get past all of that, you know, bad looking wood up there on the ceiling, you get to good wood. It was just down here on the end. So I'm pretty much gonna be able to come and, you know, maybe cut these joists in half and tack my new wood into this old roofing here. And that, like I said, it shouldn't be too hard to do. Turn around and see it from this way. But yeah, I still got a lot of cleanup to do, but I gotta get this this actual roof sheathing off of there, and then I can get the roof reframed, and then set it down on top of my wall over here that I had to reframe, and we'll be in there. You know. But yeah, you can see, you know, about where the water leak started at, because you see over here looks pretty good, and then when you get about on this half of the camper, it starts to look pretty bad. But yeah, the main leaks seem to be like they were in this section. That's why this wall rotted out so bad. But it looks a whole lot worse than it is actually. So, you know, it's just a blessing that we were able to get this camper for $250. I don't think we spent $250 yet on the restoration process. And so, you know, the thing that cost the most as far as restoring the camper so far has been this sheathing here. This plywood, because that plywood was like $140 by itself, and these 2x3s here, they're pretty cheap. And then I got these boards here. These are 1x2s, and I got 12 of those, and that should be enough to reframe all the walls in here with that little small wood, those little 1x2s. But yeah, like I said, I don't think we spent $250 yet, you know, on the actual material so far. The material has been pretty cheap, you know, and I could have went, you know, a whole lot less bulky with this floor, but I decided to, you know, go, you know, to do it well so that it'll be solid. You know, the floor is the most important part. But yeah, so, you know, the camper restoration is coming along. So now I've got those things there ripped down. I'm gonna probably take a break and get some of this stuff cleaned up, and I have to go to the farm today and do farm chores. I sent the wife and kids last week. You know, as y'all saw in the video, I was a madman, camper madman when start working on the camper. But that was true. That wasn't just clickbait. Like I refused that first week to stop working on the camper. I just worked on it and worked on it until I got the floor done. And I actually wanted to be able to see fruit, you know, before I stopped working, or before I went back down to the farm. So I'm able to see clear fruit now, and the camper is looking good. And like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and take a break. And I'll probably get ready to go to the farm, you know, in about an hour or so, and do farm chores, take care of the animals. And then we'll get on back to the camper. We'll start tearing the rest of that roof down, that ceiling. I got one more board to tear down. Yeah, I got to tear down that last board right there. And then that'll be the whole entire inside of the ceiling gutted. And then I have to get on top, you know, and tear the roof sheathing off. But I think I'm gonna frame this wall in first, I believe, and then tear the roof sheathing off. It'll probably be easy to come off, because I actually literally, I forgot I can't get up there, because if I get on top of that roof, I'm gonna fall through. So I'm gonna get the roof solid first, and then I'll be able to get up there and get that sheathing off, and then resheathe it with some good wood, and then put the plastic, the roll-on plastic, rubber fabric on top, you know. And then I think you paint this type of you paint like some type of rubber sealer or something on there, and then you caulk around all of your vents and things like that. Yep. So I'm gonna get back to this probably later on today, and I just pick y'all up then.
So as you can see, we have the door on, repaired, working, closing. What you don't see yet is this jack that's holding up the side of the door. That's just there temporarily while Tim frames in this wall and gets everything to where it needs to be. So, but the door is fixed. So we're excited about that. Tell me what you're doing over here on this wall on the side.
Prepping this wall to get ready to start framing it in before I tear down too much stuff, because the rotten wood that's in there is what's holding the wall up right now, holding these pieces of metal together. And so I'm getting this little stripping off back here in order to get all these screws out. Yeah, these screws here, I was actually gonna drill into this corner board here. So I had to get this little stripping off that was there covering these holes up, you know, so they wouldn't get wet from the rain. And now I'm gonna try to screw these screws out, and then I'm gonna try to put a corner board here so I can attach these two walls. And I'm gonna continue cutting off all the caulk and just prepping the wall and tearing down rotten wood and stuff like that so I can get it back framed in. Yeah, but just prep work right now, prepping for framing. So that's what's gonna come next, is framing the walls and framing up the roof. I don't think slides in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you probably sell them in Camping World for $1,000.
Oh yeah, save it.
You better save everything you can.
Yeah, if you can save it, definitely.
Cause at Camping World, they gonna tax you for it. Just like this door. I started to
get a new door.
Get a new door, cause I was like, man, let's scrap this door and get a new door. But once I looked up how much the new doors cost, I said, let's fix that old door. Yeah, this thing here is an example of the anointing that the Lord has given us. Because when we were restoring our first house, inheritance house, our ministry-based house, the plumbers, they left this on the floor because they thought it didn't work. And I didn't know they left it on the floor because they thought it didn't work. I just knew there was a tool on the floor that I could use. So I went and picked it up, and I had been using it all day. And so I called the plumbers, and I was like, y'all forgot your jigsaw on the floor. And they was like, don't worry about it, it don't work. I was like, nah, because I've been using it all day. And they were like, nah, we left it because it was broke, it didn't work. And I just picked it up and started using it. Had been using it the whole day.
You felt bad and called them, and then they were like, nah, that's junk. That's junk.
Mm-hmm. So I've been using it ever since. That's been about 7 years ago. And I'm still using it now. All right, so we got this corner done, and like Megan was saying, it took a lot to get it figured out. And from there, you see I have it stubbed up here to where I'm gonna bring a, that's gonna be the platform where I'm gonna start my roof rafter here, seal plate. And I'm gonna have a board going all the way down there. As you can see with this right here, I'm gonna have this 2x3 sitting here, and they're all gonna be a brace point for that board that goes across the top of the roof there. And so I gotta frame in the rest of this wall, and I'm gonna rip down some of this rotten wood here. But the pieces that are still solid, as you can see, we still have solid pieces here and there. I'm gonna leave those and kind of tack into those. But yeah, Lord willing, next time you see this wall, I'll be continuing to frame it in, and I'll cause I have to go get some screws and things like that. But I'm gonna try to get that board going across the top, the seal plate, and then get the rest of these support boards down in, get framed up around this door here. Get framed up around this door here, and then get this entire wall framed in. And then once I get this wall framed in, I'll come back and cut all of my roof rafters off, and then tack into there with good wood, kind of like I did this one. Tack in there with good wood and take it on down over there, and let it tack into that seal plate board that goes across. So that's where we at. So that's where we at on the restoration, and I'm gonna head to the lumber yard again, as I have to do every other day, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
So are you cutting that notch that we talked about? Okay.
Cutting that notch for that light fixture on the outside.
Alright. So he's cut the notch, or he is in the process of getting the notch cut out for the light fixture, so that the tin will fit flush against the board, so that we can attach it properly. So just press like that. Alright, I can let go?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so this is a light fixture we're talking about. We're just making a spot for it to come through the electrical and the back part of it, so that we can attach everything and everything's flush here. This is the wall we've been trying to keep up. So far, so good. So right now we're attaching this tin plate here on the side of the camper. As you can see, we're using the board that we just framed up on the inside, and he's got a line going down it, and so we'll just attach it here using a line of screws, and we'll just caulk them up really good. That's our goal, to kind of hide them and caulk them. Caulking them, one for the water, so that when it rains they have to be caulked and sealed very, very well, so that water doesn't get through. The tiniest bit of water can seep through your camper and ruin it, basically. So it's like, check your seals, yep, and then when you're done with that, check your seals again. That's what we've learned. Like, if you move your camper two inches, you roll it up from the front of your property to the back of your property, check your seals.
It's like if your kids start jumping around and playing in the camper.
Check your seals.
You see me walking out the door, and you're like, where you going? Check my seals. Somebody jump. Somebody move. Because
you would be surprised by what one rain can do, and a little trickle of water behind the wall. So we'll make sure we keep those seals checked, but we just have those little flathead screws, and we'll seal them up and paint over them, and you won't even be able to recognize that they're there. But this is our way of making sure this stays attached, because like Tim was saying, the bumpy city streets, when we're hauling it out to the country, we want to make sure nothing falls off.
You can actually see once you start looking at the paint, like they painted over. It says by Mallard Sprinter.
Oh light. Yeah, Mallard. You can see that. I have to research what years Mallard made the Sprinter Light, because so far the only ones I've been able to find have been 1989, 1990.
Yeah.
Because Mallard was eventually bought out by another company. I think it was like Keystone or some other company. I can't really remember, but
it's solid.
yeah. So as you can see behind me, we finally have gotten this corner secured here. So this is actually tacked in and secure. And so Tim's on the inside of the camper now working. We're going to start figuring out what we can do now to begin the framing process. So I'll take you inside. Alright, I was just telling them we got that outside wall, that corner tacked in.
Yeah, you can see it. It's actually getting solid. Like all of that, like that was not even connected.
No, it wasn't.
So y'all know how that was. So it's actually solid. Like it's not moving. You know, everything's solid. Even this board here isn't moving.
Oh yeah, it's not moving. That's right.
And then it's braced up against this board.
Right.
And I'm gonna start putting in more of those boards and screwing the wall in and start putting that ceiling rim joist is what I'm calling it in. We got all those old rotten screws ripped out. So now I'm gonna put up my seal plate or seal joist or whatever you call it. Got it cut to size already. Just fits in like that right there. I have a little line there to show me when this board is at 90 degrees. Check that one time. So I'm gonna make sure.
Alright, what'd you do with, oh, here it is.
Yeah, I keep my back
pocket. Let's see, hold on. Yeah, I think you can maybe try pushing up just a little bit more, see. Because it's more space than it was before.
Alright, so it's pretty much the concept. I'm just go ahead and screw that in a little bit better. And then we'll move on and start getting it, you know, the next section in.
We've made a lot of progress on the camper so far. So we've completed the flooring. We gave it insulation. We've installed the subfloor. And so the flooring is good and solid. We've been walking on it all week in order to complete the rest of the camper. So as you know, we went through and basically detached the whole corner of the camper, and we were able to put it back together again. So that was a huge accomplishment for us for the week. So we've got that corner now framed in, and even part of that ceiling joist on the roof. And so we have part of that framed in, and we just think we're gonna stop here for the week on this success, mostly just because the rest of the framing is going to take some time to really think about how we're going to do it, and we want to do that well and properly. And even though we might be, you know, rigging some things up together, we want to make sure it's done right so that it's solid, so that we're thinking about what components go into other components, how the ceiling joist is going to fit on the 2x3 beams or the 1x2 beams. So we just want to be able to really think about that and start fresh on it. So that's where we are right now with the camper. What we've been able to do, we've been able to get that corner framed in, reattached, and it looks great. It's solid now, and we'll be able to move forward on continuing framing that side wall now next week. So that's where we are, and I'll show you what we're doing now.
All right, so to wind down for the week, we got some meat on the grill. Got some chicken and some sausage that we're smoking. And we started back on the camper on Monday, and we made kind of a decision that we were going to take the weekends off. So today is Friday. We did a little bit today, and we're kind of knocking off early. We knocked off around lunchtime. And so that's going to be it for this week and for today's video. We'll pick it back up next week and see what we can get done next week. It's I.A.G Farms.
It's all about God.